Hey everybody, welcome back. So, we've got the May Madness Faction Boss event coming up this weekend, and the blog read was last night, and it had some interesting information in it. Specifically, that Scopely is now tuning the Faction Boss to line up with the A tier card that is released during the month, and the A tier card this month is Big Boss Man. And this particular boss has done something that I don't remember seeing. I'm not saying that it's never been done. I'm just saying that I don't remember ever seeing it. And that they are adding move damage to part of the boss buffs. And that could create a really interesting situation for Boss Man where he can literally move damage his way to a turn one victory. Okay. Um, if you didn't see the splash screen, this is a theoretical video. I have not been able to test any of this. So the data that I'm giving you may be wrong or it may not quite play out the same way in match. So I don't want to mislead anybody. And I want to be very clear that none of this is tested. This is a theory that I have that I think works. I think. If I'm wrong, I'm very sorry. Um, and I'll probably make another video telling everybody exactly how I was wrong and why I was wrong. Is that fair? Um, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to touch on is the actual boss buffs themselves and what is going to help. Um, the only one that we're interested in here is red moves that deal damage will deal 150% more damage. The blog gives a different value for this buff at level 23, but this is what's in game, so this is what I'm going to base it off of. If it does turn out to be a higher buff, then obviously all of these numbers go up. If it is a lower buff, all of the numbers go down. And then there are some scouting buffs that we need to pay attention to as well. Specifically, right here, day 4, move damage is going to be buffed by 30%. And day 2, finisher damage is going to be buffed by 50%. There doesn't seem to be any reductions in move damage anywhere, and those are the only ones that are going to be relevant to this particular build. Okay, let's find Boss Man again. My Boss Man is not 6-star gold. He also doesn't have the right strap for boss battle. For straps, we are going to assume, because we can do the math on this, that all straps are 150% move damage. You know what? No, I'm going to make it 100% move damage. And we're running a set of takedown 3 tier 6s with the 250% red move damage metal. We are also going to assume no substats. So we should be at about a 200% bonus from straps and metals, and then we should be at a 250% bonus from here. We're also going to pretend like I have a 6-star gold. I can take the data straight off the portal, which is what I've already done. So we're going to use the damage numbers that are off the portal for all of our calculations. The move set, I believe, is going to be your back elbow smash. Deal some damage, force your opponents to skip their turn for 1 turn. Obviously, this has no effect in boss. The wording here is what I'm very interested in. Hardcore, if your opponent's class is acrobat, which it is, first deal damage and increase your red move damage by, it's going to be 100% for 1 turn at gold. So I think that this will trigger first, then this will trigger. This is very important for adding all the damage together. We're then going to use the leg trap Enziguri, do some damage, increase your red MP by 9, which will refill this move. Do it again, we'll trigger this, which will be buffed by 100%, then add the buff, then do this damage with the 200% buff. And then we're going to hit the finisher. Hardcore if opponent's style is defensive, which it is. First deal this amount of damage, then finish or do this amount of damage. That is going to be our order of operations for the first cycle. Okay. And I make that particular distinction because there may be a second cycle. And we'll talk about that here in a bit. So let's go over here to the damage calculator. Move damage base. So let's load this up. I'm going to go with 100% strap, 100% metals, 250% metal bonus. Before I get to the strap, let's talk about the entourage. Big Boss Man is plus 99, so you do not need MP trainers for him. There are no MP trainers that give you MP after executing a move, only after breaking gems, so we just have to go off the moves that we have. We are not going to touch the gem board at all. And I have two different styles of trainers on him. I have Finn for 100% more red move damage, and I have Miz for 40% red move damage. Literally any red move damage trainers will work. Okay, because you'll get red move damage from this move, and you'll add red move damage to the finisher. You can also use the red finisher trainers, and they seem to be a little bit larger in their effect, which is why I'm using them. Archer of Infamy does 150% more damage, but it's only effective on the finisher. And then Tech Brett here does 50% more damage, just the finisher. That's going to be important in the damage calculator. Let's go back over here to the moveset so we can see what we're doing. Okay. Now, in the order of operations, the first thing that let me finish all of this up. So our move damage is just 140%. And let's talk about the moment. If you have a maxed out moment, all color moves that deal damage will deal 100% more damage. It is the only part of this moment that matters for Boss Man. Okay. Head in the wrong spot. As far as I know, he has no gear. Okay. That should be everything. We are not using plates. So there are no plates that I can think of that matter. We're not using flat trainers. And then again, we are ignoring substats for this particular calculation. Okay, so for our move damage base, again, first we're going to do this first deal before we increase the buff. So that first deal is 900,911. So we kick that out. We get to a total move damage here. No activated move damage. Down here, I have the boss and scout buff combined. The boss buff is 150. The move damage scout buff is 30%. So this is 180% increase that is added to this, which gives us a total damage of this first move of 199,28154. Okay. Let's add the buff. And then the second part here. Now, full disclosure, I'm not sure if it's taxed this way. I'm not sure if the move has to resolve to get the 100% buff. If it does, this number is going to be high. All right. I'm just operating under the assumption that it does. I have no data to confirm it. But we can see that it changes everything now that we have an activated buff. Activated buff hits this total move damage and multiplies it by 100. And then we have the boss and scout buffs adding right here. So our total move damage is 354,32309. All right. Now we're going to hit the leg trap enziguri, reload, and we do the back elbow smash again. All right. So the back elbow smash, the first round of it is 900, 911. So that should proc move damage of 398, 56309. Catch the activated buff again, gets us to 200%. Everything calculates out now to, oops, didn't want to go that far. 253148463. This is all the damage from moves so far. Just the red move. I didn't calculate the black move damage. I think it's going to be negligible, so we don't have to worry about that. So by now we should be at 200% activated buff, and we've hit the move twice. Now we move on to the finisher. The finisher is essentially 5,000,001,000 damage. It's a little bit less than that. But remember, there's a hardcore aspect of it. If the opponent's style is defensive, do the same amount of damage again. So essentially, you're double finishing. Okay? So that puts us to a number of 10,000,000,01822. Also, our trainers change. We are adding straight up 200% in finisher trainers. So that puts us at 340 for a percent trainer bonus. And then the finisher aspect of the boss battle buffs do come into play. Okay, so that's going to be equal to activated move damage times 0.5. All right, so when we hit the finisher, it's going to calculate all of this, and we're going to end up with 980,278,576, which should leave us with a grand total of on the first cycle of, oh come on, what is this? F4 through F8. This number is 1.128 billion. 1.129 billion, essentially, if you round it up. This moveset, after you click the finisher, takes 29.5 seconds to do. Okay. This number, I think, is relatively correct. Now, if they change the way the back elbows, or if I'm wrong about the way the back elbow smash works, and you do not proc the 100% red move damage in the middle of the move, which is entirely possible, it is entirely possible, then this number gets a little bit less. I still think, just by eyeballing it, we are close to 1 billion damage. That means 2 big boss mans running this should be able to T1 the boss with a little bit of extra damage from your teammates at gold with 100% move damage trap, full takedown 3s, red takedown 3 metal, the Entourage setup that I showed up, and the moment. Okay, if you don't have that full amount, your values will be less and you will be losing more damage. Okay, now here's where things get a little bit interesting. You still have roughly, after the finisher animation is complete, you should still have somewhere close to 24 to 23 seconds left to act. The finisher itself gives you 9 black NP. So you'll be reloaded with the leg trap enziguri. The leg trap enziguri increases your red NP by 9. I do not remember if a finisher being used in boss battle triggers the +1 MP as if it's your next turn. If it does, you hit the finisher again. You'll have more than enough time to do it. So you'll add another 900 million. And you are at 2.1 billion. If you get an extra MP just by using the finisher, you can turn 1 the boss by yourself. It will be 2.1 billion damage, assuming that all of this is correct. If not, it will be a little bit less. You'll probably do anywhere between 1.8 to 2 billion damage. That's good. That's a huge amount of damage, and you don't touch the gem board, so everything flows a lot faster. My speed tests were also done on an emulator instead of in-game. For those that don't know, emulators run just a little bit slower than what the game runs on your phone, so you should have plenty of time. If you don't, you're going to have to swipe a red or use a prop. And I am not confident in saying that you will have enough time to get everything off if you have to swipe. One, swiping will remove your buffs. And using a prop, you might have enough time. Maybe. Maybe. But I'm not confident in saying that you do. So at the very least, we know this number right here is reasonably close to what you can get turn one in about 20 to 30 seconds of gameplay. 2 boss men should be able to carry this entire boss at all levels. All levels. Provided you have the moment and all of the toys to put on it. But even still, you should probably get really big, really close. All right. So, this is a really neat change by Scopely. I'm kind of happy. Well, I'm pretty happy that boss battles are going to get easier because the carry card will be not necessarily a carry card, but very effective card will be available because it'll be the A tier. Knowing Scopely, this first one out of the gate is probably going to be juiced up a little bit, and the next ones are going to be a little bit less effective over time. Seems to be how they do everything. The first time they do something, it is scorching out of the gate, and then they water it down just a little bit, and so we get bored of it, and they change it and do something different. But everybody should have an available card. But for those of us that like solving problems, it's going to take a little bit of the guesswork out of boss, which is a little sad. Be the end of an era a little bit. Anyway, as always, if you've learned anything today, if you've been entertained by anything today, or if you just happen to like the sound of my voice, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe, share to your faction mates, and I'll talk to you next time.